Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're unpacking a truly wild concept, the Earth Embassy. Think of this not just as some basic physical staging ground, but as an active, living political sandbox. It's literally designed to prep us for a future Martian civilization. We're talking about building a full-on prototype of an alien colony right here on Earth before a single passenger rocket even thinks about leaving the atmosphere. It's a sci-fi concept made totally real, and we're going to break down exactly how the whole shebang works.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, what exactly is the Earth Embassy? Second, choosing the perfect location. Third, governing the red planet itself. And finally, building a political sandbox. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1. What is the Earth Embassy? At its core, the Earth Embassy is envisioned as an economically self-sufficient community right here on Earth. And it serves this really vital dual purpose. On one hand, it's the physical home for the very first operations of the Mars mission, a secure base to test tech and logistics, right? But more importantly, it acts as the official diplomatic voice representing future Martian colonists to the rest of Earth. It's their headquarters, their advocate, and their home base all rolled into one massive operation.
To actually make this work practically, the embassy is split into two distinct areas. You've got the primary community that handles everyday living, housing, commercial spots, the daily grind. Then, completely separated from that, you have the spaceport. And this makes total sense. It separates the quiet reality of grabbing your morning coffee from the earth-shaking, window-rattling reality of a multi-ton rocket launching just over the mountain. You definitely need both to survive, but you for sure don't want them sharing the same backyard.
Now, the absolutely crucial point here is legal independence. From day one, this community and its colonists will not recognize Earth-made laws unless they've explicitly agreed to them. And no, this isn't about some rogue sci-fi rebellion. It's actually a highly calculated shield against the tangled bureaucratic nightmare of international disputes that usually completely paralyze global space efforts. By establishing this profound level of independence right out of the gate, the project basically bypasses the endless red tape of global politics. They can just focus entirely on getting to the stars.
Moving on to Section 2, choosing the perfect location.
You might immediately think a secret Mars base should be on a remote tropical island, or maybe hidden deep in a Mongolian desert. It's a great trope for James Bond villains building secret volcano layers, but in the real world of aerospace logistics, it's a terrible idea. Building a multi-billion-dollar space infrastructure from scratch in the middle of nowhere makes those cinematic locations totally impractical. You definitely don't want to be shipping delicate rocket parts on a barge to some remote beach.
And this highlights the ultimate irony of going to Mars. Hyper-advanced space colonization absolutely relies on the most mundane, terrestrial things imaginable. A location like the New Mexico desert, for example, offers high political stability which protects against arbitrary government seizures. But crucially, it provides access to pre-existing interstates, high-voltage power grids, and massive fiber-optic internet infrastructure. You don't want to blow your entire Mars budget just paving a road, right? You want to tap into the grid that's already sitting right there.
This setup creates a really fascinating paradox when it comes to borders. To the outside world, this is a highly secure, impenetrable facility. It's strictly closed to the general public. You can't just wander in to take selfies. But for the residents, the future colonists living inside, it's absolutely not a prison. They are completely free to travel, to come and go, or even leave the project entirely if they want to. So it's a closed sandbox, sure, but one built entirely on fundamental freedom.
Okay, zooming out now to Section 3, governing the red planet.
50 to 60. That is the number of distinct, independent republics the overarching government plans to carve out once they actually reach Mars. Why so many? Well, it helps to remember the staggering scale we're dealing with. Mars isn't just a tiny dot in the sky, it actually has a dry landmass roughly equal to all of Earth's continents combined. That is an immense amount of uncharted territory.
To manage all that geography, each of those 50 to 60 Martian republics will be roughly the size of France. Breaking down the terrifying vastness of an entire alien planet into familiar, manageable chunks is essential for human psychology. It helps prevent extreme alienation, ensuring that citizens don't feel lost in the void, but instead stay closely connected to their neighbors and feel actively engaged in their local government.
Now, what's truly fascinating here is that these independent republics function as a completely neutral blueprint. Mars is kind of the ultimate blank canvas for human society. The system allows colonists to freely choose and implement a huge variety of political and economic ideologies. Whether a group wants to establish a socialist regime, an Islamic republic, or an old-school capitalist system, they have total autonomy within their specific borders to do exactly that.
Acting as a delicate umbrella over all these diverse societies is the Confederation of Martian Republics. Think of this as a deliberately weak central government that oversees everything on the planet. It functions a lot like a very limited homeowners association. It definitely does not exist to micromanage the daily lives, the taxes, or the specific laws of the citizens within those distinct local republics.
Instead, this central banner has a very specific, twofold purpose. Primarily, it handles the macro stuff, like preparing for and executing planetary defense. Secondarily, it enforces a universal baseline of core human rights, environmental laws, and crucially, the universal right to emigrate. That right there is the ultimate check on power. It ensures that even if your chosen republic gets a little too extreme for your liking, your fundamental freedom to literally vote with your feet, pack your bags, and move to a different republic is legally protected.
All right, let's bring it back to Earth for Section 4, Building a Political Sandbox.
This quote perfectly captures the life-or-death stakes of the whole project. Kickstart the governmental institutions necessary to get colonization going on Mars. The embassy's ultimate purpose is to act as a provisional test run. Seriously, you do not want to be drafting a constitution and figuring out how to govern yourselves while simultaneously trying to fix a failing oxygen scrubber on a deadly alien world. By kickstarting these institutions on Earth, they ensure the political survival of the colony way before the physical survival is ever tested.
So, how do they actually practice this? Well, by treating the Earth Embassy compound like a massive real-life game of SimCity, but with actual legal frameworks. Step 1, zone a block of 100 homes and officially call it Republic 1. Step 2, the next 100 homes become Republic 2, operating under totally different rules. Step 3, strategically isolate the heavy, pollution-producing industrial zones away from these residential prototypes. By doing this, they physically and legally simulate exactly how geopolitical borders will interact on Mars.
But even while they're running this grand political simulation, people still have to, live their lives. This structured zoning grounds the sci-fi concept in mundane reality. Communities guarantee shared access to vital assets. Someone still has to walk the dog at the park, take the kids to school, and order their packages through centralized or localized online retail. It makes sure everyday practical needs are met seamlessly during this massive experiment.
And this brings us to another fascinating socioeconomic experiment happening in real time. The system balances guaranteed survival with the comfort of free choice. Under the ticket contract system, free meals are always available, organized by regiments at mess halls. You're never going to go hungry. But layered right on top of that, you have optional independent retail. If you want to skip the mess hall on a Friday night, you have the absolute freedom to go spend your money at an independent grocery store or a local restaurant.
The ultimate takeaway here is incredibly profound. Succeeding on Mars isn't just an engineering problem about rockets and life support, it's a deeply human problem. It requires successfully running a scaled-down, provisional society right here in the desert first. The Earth Embassy beautifully marries the hard physical prep of space travel with a functioning political prototype, all to ensure humanity's transition to a multiplanetary species is as smooth as possible.
Which leaves us with one really provocative question. Knowing the strict external borders, the experimental provisional laws, and the highly regimented lifestyle of this ultimate political sandbox, if you were handed a ticket today, would you join the Earth Embassy? Think about it. Thanks for watching this explainer, and we'll see you in the next one.